Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching, and welcome to another episode of Coaching Conversations. And I wanted to make you aware of something very cool that we're doing on a subscription basis, and we'll put a link in each one of our episodes. But every Wednesday, we're going to be doing what we call an audio podcast workshop. That workshop will be roughly about 14 to maybe 20 minutes per episode, with each month having a theme from a coaching model, using feedback strategically, to coaching self-awareness, and so on. So if you could look in the body or in the content description of each episode, and you will see a link where you can join this subscription. These are literally 4 workshops every month teaching specific strategies to address a particular area of workplace coaching as it relates, again, to things like awareness, motivation, teamwork, and what have you. Here's the cool thing. It's only $10 per month, and each month you will get a handout that we will follow along with. So we also give you a tool for you to take notes as we go through each episode. We hope you'll check it out.
When I think about the term or the phrase finding your voice, I think about it in 3 different directions. So often, leaders or managers who have subordinates have a voice. It's an inherent voice, whether they use that voice well, but they have the ability to coach, mentor, direct, lead, and so on. And then I think about a direction of sideways, that peer-to-peer conversation. So often, people are not candid with each other because they don't want to cross that line. I'm not your boss. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to have that conversation. And let me make a very bold comment. The upward direction. I cannot tell you how many times and how many organizations that we have met, worked with, talked to. This will be the number one challenge they have. So I'm going to share a recent case study with some people we're working with. And I sat in a room and people were complaining, and there was a certain policy the company had altered. Welcome to the world of change. Things change, right? People have to change things. And it certainly had a financial element, so people felt it was done maliciously. And again, now these people get into this emotional interpretation. The reality starts to spin out of control, and it literally turned into a process going from policy procedure change to upper level management is trying to screw us over. So I dug in. I dove into the details. And I said to the people, I brought them back, and I said, I want to share with you a couple thoughts and a couple questions. Because last week we had talked about the policy change, and a lot of you were very upset, and immediately people started jumping in. I said, no, I want everyone to take a deep breath, and I want you to just listen. How many of you were at the announcement of this policy when it first came out? And a lot of you were complaining that there wasn't an announcement ending the policy or the change of the policy, that the miscommunication, there's no communication. You know, how many of you were at least initially at the first meeting? Almost every hand in the room went up. And so I made copies. I made copies of the policy. It was not a policy, it was a 1-year program. And I highlighted that area. And I said, now, some of you, as you're reading, I want to have a very thoughtful, professional conversation. And I want you to think long and hard, and you are not allowed to use 2 words when you respond. And those 2 words are, and I put it up on the whiteboard, yeah, but. I said, let's deal with this factually, let's deal with this realistically, and let's deal with it honestly. So, I want to go around the room. I don't want to have a discussion. I don't want people to jump in. As you read that program description, what was the realization, or what was your aha moment if you had one? To a person, everybody said, we didn't know it was a 1-year program. I said, now, I also want to share with you, some people knew it was a 1-year program because they heard the person leading the meeting had stated that. Yet you all were in the room. Yet you all said you're now getting screwed by upper level management. I said, would that be a fair or unfair assessment? Within 2 seconds, somebody said, yeah, but. I said, no. We said, we're not going to use yeah, but. She said, well, they should have communicated to us. I said, what? She said, well, that the program was ending. I said, you didn't even know it was a program. You didn't hear him the first time. So what is your role and responsibility in that conversation? Wonderful woman looked at me and said, we need to listen more. I said, right. I said, now a lot of you were frustrated. A lot of you, we just went around the room, mischaracterized, misrepresented the facts, misspoke, shared the gospel, spread the rumors, and you were wrong. So I went back to the first woman that I had the very short conversation with, and I said, how would you feel if I went around the company and told everybody you were embezzling? She said, I'd be furious. I said, but who cares? I was just wrong. What's the big deal? She said, yeah, we owe upper level management an apology. I said, absolutely. Now, does upper level management need to improve its communication? Absolutely. Do we need to learn how to do these things? Absolutely. Do we need to become better listeners? Absolutely. Yet you cannot have an opinion of people above you and spread that gospel, spread that rumor, spread that toxic interpretation without ever talking to the source. To a person, everybody goes, but how do you do that? I said, awesome. Break up into groups of 2. So here's why I put that podcast together and this message together. Teach your people how to have the conversation upward. So the woman that I was referencing, we went in and met with the CEO. And we had a thoughtful 40-minute conversation of this large organization. She walked out. She said, I feel like the weight just came off my shoulders. I said, why? She said, I think I build this up so much. I said, we all do. So we have to teach our people and teach the expectation. And I always love to share this concept. It is not our responsibility to evaluate and analyze management above us. It is our job to give them visibility to what's coming from our perspective. If you define that in your job expectations and your communication expectations, and then you as upper level management schedule time. Call them visibility chats. Give me some visibility of some things I don't know. Have visibility chats. Invite them into your office. This CEO who had this conversation did an absolutely masterful job. That was at 8:45 in the morning. I want everybody on this podcast to hear this. 1:30 in the afternoon, I was leading a session. Everybody was talking about it. 3 people asked to meet with the CEO. We have to help our people find their voice. The way you communicate upward is through permission. Mr. and Mrs. CEO, would you mind if I shared with you a couple perspectives where I think the team needs greater communication and the benefit to the organization is XYZ? So what we teach is permission-based question and what's the WIFT? What's in it for them? What's the business imperative that we're addressing? If we're just complaining, then we're just complaining. But yet, we at upper level management schedule visibility chats. Call them visibility chats. Literally share, I want to learn from you what I don't know. When you open that door, they're going to give you perspective. Now, you want to set expectations. This is not a venting session. This is a professional and thoughtful, articulated conversation to provide insight where I may not have insight. If you open that door, I promise you, people will walk through.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Coaching Conversations by Tim Hagen and Progress Coaching. Now, our company is always coming out with new and innovative solutions to help leaders coach their employees. And recently, we just created a new service called Coach to You, where leaders can pick and choose topics and assign 7 to 21-day programs for employees to learn and, more importantly, apply actions and then reflect and share what they're going to do going forward as a result of the learning. It's called Coach to You. We're literally bringing coaching to your employees. If you're intrigued, we'll have a link in each one of our episodes where you can get more information. And again, thank you so much for listening to another episode.